I know that they've had jalapeños in Sauvignon Blanc. Have you heard of that trend?
I have. I haven't tried it myself, though.
Apparently it's divine. So
Sorry,
you cut up
as
jalapeños.
a wine purist, I'm horrified by this conversation.
Swirl,
sniff.
put the nose right in. It's like my party trick. Because my friends think I'm being quite messy when I do it. I'm like, that's actually how you're supposed to do it.
I do the snobby, get the air over the
That's
palate
it.
thing.
I do the same. I do the same.
Yeah, and my friends are like, what noise are you making right now?
Hello, I'm Sibongile Mafu. Welcome to What's the Difference, a Woolies podcast. I'm with my co-host, Steve Steinfeld. I'm so glad the podcast is out finally in the world, Steve.
It is people getting a first look at the magic behind the scenes.
Absolutely. And my mom watched the podcast.
Yes.
And she's learning so many things about me through the podcast. And my mom is also going to learn some things about me for this episode because the wine lover in me is going to come out.
Absolutely. I think we're both big wine fans. And I think this is going to be quite clear in this episode.
And I'm also dressed like a glass of Shiraz today. I hope you guys
I would
like
have gone
this.
more for Senso, but like...
A little bit. Our guest today is someone who really has made wine her life. And I think it's an excellent use of free will.
No, I couldn't agree more.
No, and she is really about making wine accessible for everyone. And what caught my eye about her, because I've been following her online for years, is the fact that she is trying to basically sip her way through South Africa by visiting over 800 wine farms in the country. And she's on number 100 and something. She's affectionately and professionally known as Wine Girl Cape Town. Welcome, Leanne Beattie.
Thank you so much for having me in your beautiful kitchen.
The way that we welcome guests on this show is through a snack or, in your case, a drink.
A sip.
A sip.
Fantastic.
Welcome to Sip and Yap.
Sip and yeah.
And we've got a little beveragino here. You know, the Woolies bevy section is elite.
Yeah.
It's
What
the
is that?
Loudest de-alcoholized rosé. How do you feel about that, Steve? I know you're
sips.
quite passionate.
Yes, I prefer my wine with alcohol. May I pour you ladies a glass?
Yes, thank you.
And thank you for that honesty, because I think a lot of people have very strong feelings about this type of bubbly, but also it can work in so many different types of settings, like when you are at work, like we are.
Maybe don't pour it in a wine glass, maybe in a mug.
In a mug,
A little
possibly.
bit more discreet.
Possibly. So let's just get to know each other, Leanne, because you truly have hacked the game to make wine your work and your life. Tell us a little bit about the early journey of, your love for wine.
I started in the early days of Instagram just posting my wine farm visits. And it just took off from there. I really enjoy visiting all the wine farms. Of course, wine tourism is my baby.
Yeah.
That is my baby. We've got such a beautiful country, and I just want to share it to the world. Something that's easy for people to discover.
So it's more than just about the wine itself. It's about the wine farm experience.
That's it.
So what does that include? What does that encompass?
Oh, it's the stories. It's the people. There's so many things happening behind the scenes that brings this wine to our table today.
Well, I think let's start with a little cheers.
Cheers,
before
cheers.
we
A
sip.
little alcohol-free
A little
moment.
alcohol-free moment.
I wanted to talk a little bit about whether wine is still cool. As a millennial, and who has friends that are millennials, we still go to the wine bars, we still love a visit to the wine farms, we still like shopping for wine. But there's a general trend now where people are drinking less wine, particularly Gen Z. Are you seeing that in your work?
Definitely. I mean, we've seen all the research articles, and maybe Gen Z is saying, no, we're not for that vibe. What I want to say about the wine industry is it's not always about the wine. It's not always about drinking. Go out to a wine farm, explore the people, explore the sense of place, explore the food options. There might be something that you might see that you enjoy.
And what do you think is driving these changes in habits?
It's
Big
lifestyle.
trend that lifestyle?
I think it might be lifestyle, yes. I mean, I think the younger generation is very much about staying healthy, so it's the gym culture, it's the protein, water,
Oh,
all
the
these
protein
things.
cult.
Yeah, so this is a big thing.
Matcha, and more matcha.
And high rocks.
Yeah, so I think it's a little bit of a lifestyle, but it can also be the pocket thing, right? I think South Africa has done an excellent excellent job at diversifying the price options available to our market. I mean, now you can get a canned wine, you can get a 4-pack for around $140, and it works out to be around 35 Rand for a nice serving of wine. I keep them in my fridge, and you know, when you just feel like that little bit of glass of wine, you know, at the end of the week, it's the perfect serving size. You know, after that one can, you're done. You know, generally, if you're alone at home, I might not be able to finish a bottle. I know some people can.
Yes.
I think that's a great point. And I think where cans have a bad rep is the type of wines that used to be put in them. It also stems from that whole idea of like wine puritanism and that whole kind of legacy behind wine. But now we're seeing some really incredible wines being canned. I mean, I think Ken Forrester has got some canned wine available at Woolworths. There's definitely a movement towards it, and I think that's largely consumer-driven.
Yep.
And for me, as someone who loves a picnic, who loves a little getaway and kind of loves convenience.
Yes.
But convenience must also be delicious and
it
be an
is.
enjoyable experience, you know. Also, just to put some bevies from around the world, one of it, but from South Africa. But Steve, you went to Mexico.
I did. I was in Mexico recently.
We've got Leonista,
which is an agave spirit.
Yeah.
It's, I believe, modeled after mezcal, which is almost like a smoky tequila situation.
And
we can't call it either of those things because it is from South Africa. But yeah, we've actually got quite an interesting history with agave in South Africa because it was often used to feed sheep.
Your sheep are eating good.
Yeah, there are quite a few agave plantations around South Africa that are now being used.
Tequila.
So that was just an excuse to talk about how Steve has been to Mexico. This is my excuse to talk about how I was in Japan. So this is the Kanada Yuzu. It's a Japanese craft liqueur. Japan do spirits really well, really well.
They do.
I just wanted to put this here just to kind of link into the conversation about kind of trends in general around the world. And you said you are privy to things we don't know about yet.
You might know about this if you're a little bit of a wine nerd like me.
Okay.
But food in the actual wine.
Yes.
So I know that they've had jalapeños in Sauvignon Blanc. Have you heard of that trend?
I have. I haven't tried it myself, though.
I haven't either. I'm a little bit cautious, but apparently it's divine. So you cut up jalapeños.
A wine purist, I'm horrified by this conversation.
I think we must try it one day.
We have, you have the strawberries and the bubbles, which is not offensive.
Okay.
Except to Steve.
So wait, we're putting it in, it's not in the bottle.
No.
It's, okay.
So it's in the glass. So you put
so
your
relieved.
jalapeños in the glass.
You have choice.
With your Sauvignon Blanc. And now this season, it's all about frozen mangoes in your Sauvignon Blanc.
And it's a sangria renaissance then, in a way. It's fruit wine.
This is probably the longest segment of Snack and Yap / Sip and Yap that we've ever had. But we are going to continue yapping as I put away our beverages, because I want to talk about something you touched on around how wine is evolving or how we experience wine evolving. What do you see the future of wine looking like over the next 5 to 10 years? Because there are some people who are in the industry or maybe concerned that people aren't as interested as they were before. Certainly, that's not a problem that you'll have with me. But of course, I care about, the health of, the wine world and it thriving.
Look, I think the way that people are going now is brands have to be authentic, right? And wine is very much historically a snob space. So we're coming from a space of you have to know how to drink your wine. You have to know what questions to ask.
Swirl,
sniff,
put the nose right in. It's like my party trick. Because my friends think I'm being quite messy when I do. I'm like, that's actually how you're supposed to do it.
I do the snobby, get the air over the palate thing.
I do the same.
And my friends are like, what noise are you making right now?
It's more around being authentic, down to earth, and telling a little bit more about the story behind the wine. There are a lot of new wineries as well. I know there's a lot of Black-owned wineries recently making a huge impact on the industry, which is fantastic.
Female winemakers too.
Female winemakers. So gone are the days of the old wine industry. Things are happening, things are changing, and I think people are looking forward to the future of wine, especially in this country.
Steve, who's obviously a food and wine journalist himself, he has no problem naming names.
Oh, really? We want to go there.
And calling out brands who are doing well and those who have some work to do. So please.
So my number one is Creation.
Okay.
And I know a lot of people love it, but it's just ticking so many boxes. They've got a great story. They've got a great food offering. They serve the wine in proper glass. glasses. They've got a great offering of Chardonnay Pinot Noir. The views are exceptional. And then the cherry on the top, they've got art on display. So for me, that is just like, it's ticking every box.
I mean, that whole Hemel and Ardagh Valley for me is a place I try to go maybe at least once a year. Because you just go down, you just roll down that hill and experience so many incredible wine farms.
Chardonnay and Pinot Noir heaven.
Absolutely.
I do love a good Chardonnay.
Yeah.
Oh. Let's talk about Chardonnay because for me, I used to be a Chardonnay hater.
Were you an ADC?
Anything but Chardonnay.
Anything but Chardonnay. And it was because I associated it with like the divorcee crying over a big glass of Chardonnay, living a sad, lonely life, which is kind of the perception that Chardonnay has. And then I started drinking really good Chardonnay and visiting wine farms like Creation. Yes. And I was like, call me an old divorcee then, because I'm having a good time. But the Chardonnay story is interesting because I think it has people who love it and people who are like, never.
Well, if you think that you don't want to try Chardonnay, I would ask you to try again. Wine farms like WCellar are getting it right. So they've got 9 different styles of Chardonnay.
Oh, they're busy.
They are busy. So if you like a lighter style Chardonnay or something that's more oaked and aged, they've got everything. So what I would recommend is maybe buy all the Chardonnays that you can from WCellar and go through the list and see if you do like Chardonnay, then you can find which balance you prefer, you know.
A strictly Chardonnay tasting.
Yes, you can do that these days.
I think you're right. Because I think
Did you enjoy Chardonnay from the beginning?
So our ABC culture in South Africa is largely based on our history of making these like really heavy, overly oaked, super battery, like chewing on oak Chardonnays. And I think that gave it a really bad rep. I also had that perception when I started drinking wine, but the more you start exploring it, I think the Hemel and Ardagh Valley and Elgin in particular have really started mastering Chardonnay in a way that, you know, I think is the prime of our country's Chardonnay territory. And now I love Chardonnay. I mean, it's the base of most champagne. How can you not?
I was just going to say the same thing. Hey, shocker. If you don't like Chardonnay and you like Cap Classique, well, let me tell you something. There's Chardonnay in your Cap Classique.
Wouldn't exist if we didn't have it.
That's it.
So should we bring in our next guest?
Absolutely.
Who do we have today?
Today we have, from Woolies, Rene Grownewald. Welcome, Rene. Step on up to our beautiful set.
Oh, and Rene has the massive Woolies guest gift bag.
Thank you. I'm so happy. So heavy.
Rene, thank you for joining us.
Pleasure being here.
Before we start, what is your title at Woolworths?
I'm a product developer for WCellar.
Fantastic.
We do spirits and beer and wine.
I'm curious to find out about the trends because, I mean, I spoke to Leanne about trend forecasting earlier, and for you, that's your whole world. How do you identify like an emerging trend? Because I find that with Woolies, you're ahead of the game for the most part. You're literally living in the future. So how do you identify what's going to be hot?
It's definitely on-trade, restaurants, mixologists, all of those people are really helping us a lot. They're the ones exploring. Unfortunately, I always have to listen to data. So I get super excited about something and people would say, no, the market is shifting to that. That's the market share. Where are you going? Why are you in Japan if we need to be in France or wherever the big things are? I'm very, very scared of social media. There's a lot of noise. And you know when that algorithm gets hold of you, you can very easily see something as a big thing when it's not. One trend for sure that we identified, and I'm sure everybody's speaking about it, is this blow up of a sober culture. So now, recently, we went to a lot of restaurants. There's pages and pages of non-alcoholic cocktails, which
it used to
they
just be
pair
3.
with food. It's on a tea base. It's complex. It's beautifully laid. It actually serves its purpose with the food. So there's a place for it. So there's definitely more choice.
Fantastic. And I mean, speaking of the choice, you've obviously done a lot of judging and wine education, I imagine. I did Michael Fridgen's Judging Academy.
I've done that.
You've done that too,
yeah. Tea for 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
What happens there?
You strip your
How
teeth
do I
of
get
enamel.
there?
I think it's 180 wines or something like that.
Teeth are starting to pain again.
I can't tell whether it was a good or a bad experience.
It's an incredible experience.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
We see each other in the bathroom. Everyone's like, don't use it. It was crazy.
And yeah, you shouldn't brush your teeth after drinking that much wine. That's the number one tip I can give you.
For how long after?
A week, 10 days.
I mean, speaking of tastings, we've only got 3 in front of us, thank goodness. Maybe when we bring you back, Rene, you can bring
180.
180. But let's take us through this, what we have in front of us here. You've brought us some delicious wine.
Yes. We're tasting blind. I think for those who are just listening, there are 3 glasses of red wine in front of all of us.
I'm going to try to show you a sense of place.
Okay.
So this is from exactly the same vintage.
Yes.
It's the same producer.
Yes.
It's got the same winemaking philosophy. This producer don't add any acid ever. So they only believe in natural acidity, which is difficult in South Africa and many vintages. 2023 was a cooler vintage and slower ripening. But this is from 3 different areas. So I don't know if you want to just nose the flight, smell them.
All right.
Same variety?
I knew you were going to ask that. So there is similar things in there, but they're not all a straight. I was hoping to get a straight one variety.
Okay, so drinking some blends.
But I think this
Steve
will
did have a
demonstrate it
sniff earlier.
better. It will be impressive if you can call it.
And if my mom is watching,
Okay, wait, so it's not.
this is what I do in Cape Town every weekend, Mama.
See, I've now got like pinotage on the mind, but I feel like it's not pinotage then.
Oh,
I imagine if we are doing. Well, I'm going to now just extrapolate the information I've been given. I assume it's...
Please extrapolate.
It's a Bordeaux red, so a Cabernet lead, I imagine.
How do you feel about the second one?
It's delicious. If I had to hazard a guess, I'd say that's probably Stellenbosch, but let's see the next one.
Or Franschhoek?
Franschhoek, I would get much more ripe red fruits, whereas I think that's got a bit more.
This one's got a bit of eucalyptus in it.
Is she warm, Rene?
Let me reveal the wines. I'm very impressed with your comments.
Beans is killing us.
So it's from a very successful producer.
Okay.
They do not make it in a cost-effective way. So don't know if you heard of those OXO lines where they turn the barrels on its side and you turn it. Have you seen this WCellars where the barrels are not stacked on the floor, it's on the wall? That's an OXO line. So the first one is well known on scale. The foreigners love it.
There we go.
So this is Swartland.
Swartland, yeah.
This is the success of Swartland. And what everybody abroad loves is if you go back to this is sunshine in a glass, and not in a bad way. It doesn't taste overripe, but it's ripe. You can't get these notes in Europe.
So the chocolate block, quite popular on South African tables.
This is such a successful story. So they said they don't want to, it's not heritage, it's not a state. They just want to give it a name. And they never discount it. So it is at quality. It's always at that quality. I mean, people freak out if we don't stock it at the airports. It's literally their last gift. The foreigners love it. I think it's the name, but also the consistency. And it's at scale. You can find it, but they know each and every one is in that barrel. So it's a very expensive way of making wine. But this is sunshine. And it's approachable. And Swartland sometimes, in most instances, got those flower spiciness. Sometimes it goes to a wilder side, but this is restrained. And I think it's that way.
It's elegant.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful
And
wine.
I think a lot of serious wine drinkers kind of overlook it in South Africa, but internationally,
It lands.
everywhere. I see it on so many wine lists, in so many international bottle shops.
It's safe. It's a consistent performer. This is Helderberg. I don't know if you know the area. This is the area that's facing Strand.
Yes.
Much cooler, so maritime influence. I don't know if you tasted that it's cooler. The wine that it's cooler. You get a lot of white pepper. Helderberg's known for white pepper notes. This is quite a idiosyncratic label. I mean, it's not something you would find.
Whereabout is it in Helderberg? Because I mean, there's some
it's the same
incredible vineyards.
producer. They make majority of their chocolate block in Helderberg. They actually bought a very old winery. And this is, to celebrate the old winery. Initially, they kept all those labels, but now they made one. So this is a completely different style. It should taste a lot cooler and fresher fruit. So this is sunshine, and this is, do you taste that it's cooler? They're known for their graphite in that area. Almost gives you that texture. But their winemaker, Guthrie Mocker, he always loves to add a splash of Cinsault. Cinsault polish the wine. So it should taste much rounder compared to all the other Helderberg wines.
So Helderberg Winery Reserve.
Yes, but Helderberg is that area.
I love,
cooler,
especially for Cabernet.
Vergelegen, all those wineries up there. Have you visited any of them?
Yes.
Like Thaibosch is
you
one
gonna
of my
try?
favorite wineries in South Africa, and that's Helderberg.
Thaibosch, I keep on saying it's like the glassware.
Yeah, exactly. Thaibosch.
And last but not least,
So this is one of their flagships.
But it's close.
Here we
yes,
So a lot more
straight cab.
serious,
Straight cab,
a lot more cedar. You said eucalyptus, you get those notes, really smoky, but this is made to last. You can drink this for the next 20 years. Very powerful.
Definitely a food
Polished.
wine.
I'm sitting in my library in my big manor, sipping this wine.
There's so much elegance there.
Yeah.
It's powerful.
And do you have a favorite out of the three?
No, I will never say that. There's a wine for every occasion.
Thank you for bringing this incredible lineup to us. And for our very first wine tasting
Yeah.
on What's the Difference.
Hopefully not the last.
Hopefully not the last.
You're welcome.
May this episode be very successful so that we just keep on bringing wine on set. And for you, in terms of, I mean, you spoke about having to do a lot of tastings, and, you know, there is a challenging part of the job of kind of regulating, you know, your consumption. How do you find, you know, personally navigating the work that you do? Because it's not a normal job.
I think it's similar to feeling fatigue. You can't taste this for 6 days in a row and make notes. I always laugh when you present or do any tasting. People make notes and ask things, and then the second or third flight, they're like, ooh, and stars.
Berries.
Great.
So at work, we now split it Mondays and Thursdays. What
Tasting
we do, very
days.
specific what we want to do. One is just quality control
Okay.
of current ranges. Thursdays is scoping and newness. So you have to be very deliberate in what you taste and why you're tasting it.
Do you still make mistakes? And like, do you find you still learn new things? Because I mean, we
Not
threw out a
really.
few wild guesses here.
I just came back from a tasting in France, and this was cheese now.
Okay.
Half day through the day, I think it was already tea time, they gave us iPads. So I was just this group. They were incredible and they were so kind. I didn't realize the French and the Spanish and the Italians, they can converse, definitely not in English. I also don't want to feel like that person, now they're struggling to explain things to me. So I said to them, I'm fine, I know what I'm doing. But on this iPad, so you had nose and senses, and you have to write things and score it. And then you had it says God, like goat. And I kept on thinking, but this is not very specific. This doesn't smell goaty. I don't know if I should score it down. But this is not goat. It's not typical. And I kept on saying it's slight hints of lemony if I can give it something, but it's not goat.
Right.
And then I realized it means taste. But only much later when I got hold of my phone. So I was scoring something completely wrong. So yes, lots of
Still make
mistakes.
But fun stories. Great stories to tell.
And I mean, how do you decide then? You taste, I mean, I'm sure you taste hundreds of wines over the course of a month, if not a week. How do you decide what makes the cut? Like what gets onto shelf?
I wish I had the autonomy to just make decisions. You'll see 10 different wines every 10 weeks after the first of that batch dropped off. But so I can put suggestions on the table. I can say, this is what I found. This is the reasons why. I actually feel like a political leader sometimes. You really have to motivate for your babies to get considered. By the time my technologist is done with how much do you pay your workers, what is your farming for the future, seller of the future? There's so many hoops, great hoops to jump through. Half of my products is already off the table. And then the buyers get to my suppliers. And, you know, it takes a lot. There's a lot of things that makes it a viable product.
Going back to what we discussed earlier is how do you actually calibrate? So now we've tasted 3 wines and I can only imagine, you know, knowing what it's like to taste another 176. How do you calibrate in between tastings, in between different varieties?
So I think at any judging competition, no matter the competition, they will always bring out, so when you calibrate, you bring out lots of different styles, different quality, different regions. There's many times international judges, they might not understand Pinotage or they might not understand our Chenin, and you actually say to them, this is a good quality product. It's to make sure there's not a very generous judge or someone that's too lenient or too strict. Because in a competition, if judging is 15 points out, you know, you lose both scores. So we need to make sure we all treat and score wine similarly. And we will then all discuss the wines afterwards and say, okay, since you keep on scoring something 90, we all at 70. Okay, what you're tasting is a fault. Stop saying it's good. And it's a very nice, safe space. So we all go around and say, you keep on thinking Overwood is great. We deliberately put it in this flight to show you that's bad. Yeah. It's not going to age. So they almost pick out things that you need to look out for when you judge. So that helps us a lot to discuss.
Are you regulating each other?
I mean, as a retailer, what I find super interesting is you're probably not looking for wines with massive aging potential. You're looking for wines that are ready to drink now, I imagine, because if I'm shopping for wines to keep or store, I imagine I'd go to, maybe a specialist wine retailer or maybe to the cellar itself. Whereas if I'm looking for wine to drink and I'm having a party, I'm going to Woolworths, yeah.
We've got different categories. So we've got core categories that's easy to understand, pick it up, drink it tonight. But there's many beautiful examples of collector's items. In WCellar, we've got specific dedicated spaces of, we got allocations. It's now 5 years old. It's at optimum. You can taste it and drink it now. We made sure that it's kept perfectly, but you can also still sell it for 10 years.
Yeah. We have a game to play with you two, and you need not think. So we call it the quickfire quiz. And Leanne, you'll answer first. Rene, you'll answer second. All right? Okay, first question. One wine trend that's overrated.
I've always had an objection against sweet wine.
Okay.
And when people tell me they like sweet wine, and then I'm like, but this is a dry wine. You enjoy fruity wine, not sweet wine.
Not sweet wine. Okay, I'll accept that answer. Rene, I guess you can't
I had time to think.
answer
It's
this.
like
really.
you.
Yeah, what's one wine trend that's overrated?
You need to be open to it all.
No, I
Rene's got an
love
answer.
Prosecco.
Okay.
But
cool.
I think by the time it gets to us and the price point we might shop it is flat and it's fruity. I think it belongs in an Aperol where you add it to something bitter
Right.
and these fruity notes to balance it.
One wine trend that's underrated.
Probably the alcohol-free.
Okay.
Because a lot of wine people are like, no, don't try it. But actually, this one that we had today was really nice. So I think, yeah, try it.
Try
See
it.
it for yourself, yeah.
And Rene, underrated.
Biodynamic wine. Biodynamic wine. If you open it on Monday, by Friday, you can have a glass every single night. It changes, but it just becomes something more and more intricate and beautiful and
It stays
complex.
good.
It's made so slowly and so differently. I actually feel like I become part of the celestial system and wiser. Rakes, Reineke is a very big producer of biodynamic. Have you tasted biodynamic
haven't.
wine? Look at this whole new world opening
Now I
up
must.
for you.
Thai natural wine. I think there's a whole movement that's happening.
The Loire
that's-
Valley, like all of this stuff. It's very easy if your neighbours and everyone's making stuff biodynamically.
Oh gosh, am I going to be obsessed with something
Probably-
new now?
You probably have
Another-
tasted it. You
Yes.
just haven't realized.
Haven't realized it.
we
Yeah.
have a
And the
huge-
test is to open it on Monday and still be able to drink it by Friday.
Exactly.
And as someone who lives alone, that's vital.
Gonna love it.
Well, I think on that note, we're going to take Rene to the chilliest part of the segment.
All right, no more Mr. Nice Guy and Gal. We're going to ask the serious questions. So for the cold seat, as you know, Woolies is famously known for being a bit chilly inside, but for good reason. We love your refrigeration system, but we are going to ask you the really tough questions that not only myself and Steve have, Leanne might have, but also, the listeners of this podcast. So, Steve, you want to kick things off?
I'm going to kick it off. And I think it's always a question that consumers have because it involves price. Why can't Woolies simply price match, with some of the other competitors, especially when it comes to this segment?
We are different. We offer different things, unique things. We don't offer what everybody else offers. But we really make sure that what we put in is not affecting our supplier base. So it's this, this paradox where if you discount things all the time, our volume will go up and the customers would feel they're winning. And then in the long term, you will lose half of your suppliers and your choice and diversity will shrink, and it will just be the sea of the same products. The quality will plateau. To do R&D and to test things and to work on root stocks. And there's so much our supply base is currently doing. For us to constantly, that race at the bottom to the bottom, constant price wars, that's not where you want to be. You can't guarantee quality if you're constantly, all the checks we're putting in, you're going to force them to take out. It's much easier to say to someone, your yields must be 40 tons a hectare. You're going to dilute everything. So you don't want to put people under pressure constantly. We'll make sure that our suppliers are not charging us 80% margin or something. We know what things should cost, but you don't want to be in that race.
Yeah, you don't want to compromise where you shouldn't, basically.
I think that's a great answer.
You survived the cold seat.
Yeah, and did well.
And did very well. On that note, Rene, Leanne, thank you so much for joining us today. May our love for wine bring us back together at this table in the future.
Thank you.
And that was What's the Difference?
If you enjoyed today's episode, remember to like, subscribe, and share. You can find us on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts.
And remember to leave your comments or questions for the next episode, because the cold seat, she's getting cold.
It's just getting cooler. Thanks, guys.
Bye.